Okay, what's going on, Legion fans? Welcome to another episode of our Sitcomic Podcast. We are jumping into the next episode of WandaVision. I don't remember what it's called. Do you remember what it's called?
Episode 5?
I think it's 5, but it's like back to your regular scheduled programming. Something
Is
like
it something
that.
like
It's
that?
something like that.
Yeah, I can't remember the name, and
Yeah,
I don't
can't
really
remember
care.
either.
I'm going to be honest. I don't care what the name is.
It was so
It
good.
was amazing.
Oh, so
it
good.
It was awesome. This
if
is
you
the
haven't
type
seen
of
it,
episode.
go see it. Go watch it.
We were
so good.
looking for this episode. I mean,
Yeah.
last episode we thought was phenomenal because it was that
so good.
wrap-up episode that got you caught up on everything that was happening in the outside world.
Yeah.
You know, you're not just in the sitcom anymore. You're seeing what's happening around
Right.
the sitcom.
Right.
This is what we were hoping for, where we're getting that back and forth between the sitcom and what's happening in real time in the outside world while the sitcom is going on.
Yeah, we talked about that last week where we were like, man, we hope that when it comes back, it doesn't just go 100% sitcom.
One or the other.
Or 100% the real world.
Right.
Yeah, we wanted that mixture, and they did it so well.
Yeah, it was real seamless. And you want to know part of the reason why?
Why?
Because it was a longer episode.
Yeah, it was like 42 minutes.
Well, kind of.
With credits.
With 6 minutes of credits. But yeah, it was a 36, 35-minute episode.
Yeah, it was still like six minutes more than the normal ones.
Exactly. So, because there's a lot more that you have to do in this amount of time. Like there's a lot more ground to cover. You can't cover one or the other. You've got to cover both.
Yeah, you know, when they cut to the commercial, which is around the halfway point,
right?
So much had happened already. They cut to it, and I was like, oh, the episode's over. And then it came out with the commercial. I'm like, what? It's like halfway through. This is great.
Yes.
It's going to be so much.
Yes.
Yeah, it was so good.
Agreed. Speaking, do we want to go to the commercial?
Dude, that commercial, that hit
I am telling you right now,
that was so good.
This confirmed my theory of this all being about her trauma.
Oh, it's Lagos.
Every single commercial has a form of her trauma.
Yep.
And what you're seeing now is they're actually in the order that she had to deal with them.
Yep.
So you had the first one, which was Tony Stark,
right?
So with Tony Stark, it's her and her brother.
Right, stuck inside their home.
Stuck in their home, afraid at any moment this bomb that had killed their family was going to go off and kill them.
Right.
So that's the first one.
Yep.
The next one is
was Hydra.
Yep. So they were radicalized, and we see that in this episode. The director kind of walks you through this a little bit. I don't think they were like reusing Age of Ultron footage, because in Age of Ultron footage they did talk about how they were at protests and things. I don't think they were reusing. I think it was new footage of them at the. Well, maybe not. I don't think so.
Maybe it was just reused footage.
I think some of it, because if you look at, I'm trying to remember back to Age of Ultron, but I think we saw some of that footage in Age of Ultron.
I didn't look familiar, but maybe if it was new footage, that means they got Aaron Taylor, I think his name is, the guy who played
the old Quicksilver,
right? The Quicksilver from he was
Marvel.
never called Quicksilver.
You're right,
he was never that. So Pietro.
Well, and I mean they touch on that in this episode, that both Pietro and Wanda never actually have any superhero monikers.
Does she have a crazy name she went by? It's like it's just,
nope, just Wanda,
just Wanda,
Maximoff.
Oh yeah, she should be Scarlet Witch.
Well, but I think that's something they're showing here, is that she's not Scarlet Witch yet.
Right? Yeah,
she hasn't stepped into that yet, and. You know, we can get into that a little bit more.
Keep going.
So when we talk about Hydra, they were radicalized. They were
right.
brought into Hydra. We know the evil of Hydra, and then
Strucker.
Baron von Strucker,
right?
And him within Hydra,
experimenting
on them with the Mind Stone,
right?
And getting her powers, but
blessing
still being tortured to be able to get to that place.
Messed her up more.
And now we're looking at Lagos, where she had to deal with the mess up, the mistake she didn't mean to make.
Crossbones blowing up.
Yeah,
man.
exactly.
Yeah, taking out all those people from Wakanda and the peace delegates and everything.
Right. So we're looking at and we're walking through all of the trauma that she has had to deal with in her life, all of the loss. And now we're getting a clearer picture on why she's doing what she's doing.
Yeah.
Now,
and did you notice that it was like bounty, right? So it's like wipe away your spills, your mistakes, right?
Right.
It was all about knocking things over.
Mm-hmm.
And so that was her mistake that she once wiped away.
Right.
Like, how cool is that? Man, Marvel does such a good job. I know DC has always been known for the more gritty, darker, whatever. But Marvel does a really good job of like projecting and visualizing emotional distress in a superhero movie, like
to an extent.
It's
I don't know.
Deep,
I think
man.
I agree with you.
This
DC's
one's so good.
always been darker. This though had that same feeling.
Yeah.
This is the first
knots
Marvel,
in your stomach.
This is the first Marvel where I can say this felt really dark.
Well, I think I'm thinking more of Infinity War, not just the movie as a whole, but like her whole thing with Vision. That entire arc of her having to kill him and then rewatch him come back and then kill him again.
Yeah, I mean that was horrific for her to have to to deal with. And that's probably going to be one of the next commercials we're going to have come up.
Oh, it's getting close.
It's getting close to it because Lagos was Civil War.
Yeah.
Lagos was Civil War.
That was the Sokovia Accords.
So now that's the Sokovia Accords. That's when that came into play. They mention that. They talk about that.
Yeah, next will be Infinity War.
Stealing
Vision's
body?
We've talked about we talked about.
Come on, man.
We latched on pretty early to that theory going around the web that she had brought the body to Agatha Harkness to help try and resurrect him, or she had brought she's stolen the body to try and resurrect. And totally, I mean, she went
100%
right in,
on it now.
Stole the body.
And you know what that footage is from? Do you know what that footage is?
Wasn't that Was it sword video surveillance?
It's sword video surveillance, but it was actually it wasn't filmed as a part of this series. That is what was a cut extent. That was the cut stinger for Endgame.
That's right.
That was the Endgame stinger that they cut. Great. They decided it didn't flow with the overall tone of Endgame.
Right. Well, and they wanted to end with Tony's sacrifice. I get that. That made sense.
And
that was good.
It did. But what they did was they have a bunch of footage now that they're pulling in, and that was a stinger that they had planned for Endgame. So that is great that they've now pulled that back in.
I didn't know that. I knew that they had a stinger there, but I didn't know it was that footage.
Even darker than that. His body wasn't in one piece.
No. He was like in pieces on the table.
Disassembled and like torn apart.
Yeah, that's
And for her to have to not just see him die twice, kill him once, die in front of her at Thanos' hand, then come in and see his body dismembered by the people who are supposed to be in keeping the Sokovia Accords in place. Because that's what they're saying. SWORD was essentially responsible for is upholding the Sokovia Accords. She is not in a good place.
Right. Well, they're there to protect the world from these weapons, these super weapons,
extraterrestrial, otherworldly.
Well, and so they're studying him so that they can make sure that they can protect themselves against.
And you know what was really interesting was that Wu made it even more gripping because he said it would also be in violation of Vision's will.
Yeah. Oh, his living will.
He didn't want that.
Yeah, can we just stop and say that Jimmy Woo is like the best character?
Oh, he's phenomenal.
I love him.
He is amazing.
Randall Park is like
he's
so good.
Quick side
tangent. I want more things with him in it.
Do you know what I just realized that Randall Park was in because I didn't make the connection because I watched it again last night? Well, The Office. He's
Jim.
He's fake Jim. But do you know what else?
What?
Aquaman.
Oh, he's an Aquaman?
Yeah.
Who is he in Aquaman?
He is the Atlantis conspiracy theorist for the humans who at the end at the stinger
he's the
for
guy,
Aquaman,
he
he's the guy that
brings Black Manta back.
Exactly.
Oh, that's funny.
And he's the best character in that one, too. He's hilarious.
I don't know. Jason Momoa is pretty good.
Well, Jason Momoa is amazing. I mean,
he's the best
funny. He's the best bit character in that one.
He's
better than Amber Heard.
More
she
Jimmy
was
Woo.
just like watching nothing.
Well, that's another story.
Yeah, that's for another day.
Anyway,
yes,
that's true. Yeah, it's against his living will. That's crazy.
To be resurrected, he didn't want to be used as a weapon.
Yeah, right. Of course. Yeah,
and so
makes sense.
And he's waking up to it now too.
Oh yeah. Oh, that's. Oh, we'll get to that, but we'll get to that. So they go back into the sitcom world,
right?
But they don't stay there very long before it gets
weird,
freaky.
Gets weird right away.
So we're into the 80s now. It's Family Ties, right?
And Full House.
Which such a cool call to it.
I love that it's Full House because it's Elizabeth Olsen's
the Olsen
sisters.
twins. Yeah,
the twins are on Full House. Like it's just a whole Marvel does such a good job of all the tiny
the little
details.
things.
And we've known that. We've always known that they do a great job with the tiny details. But this is one that doesn't even matter. This one doesn't even matter, and they still do it anyways, and it's great.
Speaking of a tiny little detail that has nothing to do with Marvel, but kind of has to do with Full House, I know my wife is friends with a stunt double for the Olsen twins.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah, it's pretty cool. All right. Just totally random.
A stunt double for the Olsen twins?
Yeah, she's really small.
What stunts are they still doing?
No. She stunt doubled in Full House. She was
really?
She was an adult. She's just a very small
wow.
individual. But yeah, she's stunt doubled for
That's
multiple kids
insane.
in like TV shows. But that's
amazing.
Isn't that cool?
Wow, that's cool. All right.
Yeah, so I hope she gets on. She should
There
be
you
on.
go.
She should be on WandaVision.
There you go.
But anyway, so they go back to the sitcom, but Agnes shows up. And it immediately gets weird. I mean,
real
it's
weird.
Always weird because she's super campy.
Well, and she shows
I love the
up.
jazzercise.
Yeah.
I love it. Man.
I love that, but she just shows up.
Yeah, she's
at
like, "Oh,
the
I heard you had a
moment
problem."
that she's needed.
Yeah, right. And
always
Vision immediately is like, "How
latches
did you know?"
on. Yeah,
and she's like, "Well, I have ears. I could hear them crying." You know,
yeah,
which
and he accepts that a little bit.
That.
He accepts that a little bit, but then
she offers to help, and Vision's a little hesitant.
Right.
And that's obviously not what Wanda wanted her to be able to help.
Wanda called her there.
Right, exactly. And so Agnes,
do I take that again?
Should we like start from the top?
Should I go from the top?
Which I need to say right now, and we've been dancing around the fact that hopefully she's Agatha Harkness.
Right.
We're hoping that, and it's pointing more and more in this episode. We see more and more. But I will say, whenever Agnes breaks character. And Herb did this too in the one moment we saw him break character. But whenever Agnes breaks character, it's not a panic. It's a confusion and like is this? Am I supposed to? She broke differently.
I agree.
But
with
she's
you.
not like she doesn't break as someone who's trapped.
No. Because we see a different break in this.
Yeah.
In this one with
exactly that's what I'm saying
with the character from his office.
I think Norm.
Norm. So we see the break with Norm, but we also hear about it with
Monica.
Yeah,
exactly.
So she talks about
Agnes is different.
Feeling immense grief.
Yeah, and intrusion, like someone's like breaking her privacy.
What was the word that he used? It's a violation.
It's a violation.
The director
yeah, right. That's what
she used it as a violation. Except Agatha, it's not.
Right. Agatha is she's part of it.
She's a part of the play,
which makes me think
she's not under
her
spell.
Not under her spell.
She's not under her spell.
Right. Exactly.
But she is. Here's the thing. I don't think it's necessarily confusion. It looks like a little bit of fear.
Oh yeah,
it's confusion and fear,
and we can dive more into that when we get to the dog scene where with the
she's
puppy.
panicked.
Yeah, I love that scene.
Yeah, it's a great scene.
But this reinforces our thought that she's set up this training kind of scenario for Wanda, and Wanda's walking through it, and Agnes is kind of taking like almost like when you. We're both teachers,
right?
So, and for all you teachers out there, when you do student teaching, and eventually the teacher lets you teach, and they just kind of sit there and they help you when they need to, but you're running the show,
right?
And so it seems like the show. It seems like Wanda's running the show, but Agnes is there, kind of like making sure things. Is this really how you wanted it to go? And kind of walking her through
I almost would take it a step further.
Yeah.
I think it's all of what you just said, but it's like in that same analogy.
Yeah,
it's like the student teacher now took over and has made the teacher a part of the class.
Yeah. Oh,
it's
for
like,
sure.
It's
There's
like,
something. She's
Agatha
unhinged.
almost at one point. Would have needed hey, I'm gonna come back and take this back, and it's like, no, this is mine now.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Like it's almost as if the
student
teacher comes in and just literally took the job of the teacher,
or is trying to,
to at this point.
Yeah. And she's more powerful
she doesn't know
than Agnes thought she was.
Well, not even. I think she's more powerful than anybody.
Oh yeah.
Has thought she was.
Yeah,
I mean, I love the scene where they start talking about Endgame. And they talk about how what we've all known for a while is that Scarlet Witch was the one who could have taken down
Monica
Thanos.
brings that up.
She brings it up. Thanos by herself.
Yeah.
Had he not called the strike down.
Well, they totally just visualized all the fan back and forth over the internet because Jimmy is like, oh, I don't think Captain Marvel could have done it.
Some people might argue that
Captain Marvel.
Yeah, Captain Marvel.
And it's like, that's the argument.
That's literally the argument that people make
since Endgame came out.
However, the point being, she's now displaying the full range of her
She's
power.
given into it.
She is showing what she is really capable of doing.
Yeah. Oh, and we see it when she steps out.
Oh,
Man,
when she steps out, it's great.
When she steps out. Okay, so I didn't catch this right away, but I read it.
Before we move on, hold on. Before we move on,
yeah.
Notice Monica doesn't want to talk about Captain Marvel.
Oh, of course.
She doesn't want to talk about her at all.
Yeah, well, here's the thing. I think is even more so now that she knows her mom died. I think she almost feels like I would say she might feel like Carol abandoned them.
Not
like
just
she
Carol abandoned them, that she failed them.
Yeah,
because here's the thing. Here's the other part that we don't get to play back.
Yeah.
That I think Monica actually walks through, which is painful for anybody who was returning.
Sure.
They missed.
Yeah.
Years of people's lives.
Yeah.
So Monica missed out on the opportunity to actually say goodbye and grieve her mother.
Yeah. It's like was it 5 years of the snap, I think?
Yeah.
4 or 5 years? I can't remember.
So literally, that's the reality for a lot of people. So yeah, the snap brought people back.
Yeah.
But they missed huge pieces of people's lives.
Yeah.
It's like it's not just Monica. It's like if a parent was gone.
Yeah.
And now I've missed 5 years of my child's life growing up.
Right. Yeah.
That's what happened with Ant-Man.
Yeah. Oh yeah, for sure. He came back and
like,
Cassie was huge.
Exactly.
Was like all grown up.
So it's like it's exploring that piece too.
I love it.
And I think Monica is probably a little bit upset with Captain Marvel not stepping in sooner.
Yeah, yeah, or thinking she could have done more because she's so
she could have prevented
it, kind of a thing.
Which is the argument that a lot of us made in in Infinity War.
Right,
like
but,
here's the thing.
Well, but Captain Marvel made a really good argument back in that not all the worlds had the Avengers, and so
no, I get
she
that.
had to be out there protecting the world.
And this is the argument that I will continue to make on that. Yes, not all the worlds have the Avengers.
Yeah.
Yes, except Thanos is the only one in all the worlds who is trying to wipe out half the world.
She should have gone after him.
He is the big threat.
Yeah, she should have gone after
I don't care
him.
what other threat is going on. You can't tell me there's another threat as big as this anywhere else in the universe. Right now. Right now, in that moment.
Yeah, for
he
sure.
didn't call Captain Marvel.
Yeah.
Until the end. I'm talking about Nick Fury now.
Nick Fury didn't. Yeah.
You didn't think to call her in sooner?
Well, he didn't know about Thanos still. Well, he might have with Sword.
Come on.
Yeah, Nick Fury knows everything. To give
just a bit of a plot hole that I'm just saying, but that's probably what's going to play out here.
Yeah. With
Monica.
Yeah. Oh, and real quick before we leave Monica and go to that. I think we've reinforced our theory that she has powers now.
Oh, 100% now.
And totally from Wanda. She comes back. She's still all kind of
if nobody's catching it, and they're like, well, why are her scans coming back
blank and wrong?
And her blood work they have to draw more blood work and do it again.
She's like, nope, I'm out of here. Yeah, but she's got power.
She's got power. She's now been, because your theory dead on from last time. Yeah, because of her interaction with Scarlet Witch.
Yeah,
she now has powers. She's going to become Photon.
She's been imbued with some kind of infinity power. Yeah, from her,
or it's just woken up in her.
Right.
Yeah, we could get to the other piece here.
We'll get to that.
We'll get to that. But what I'm saying is something could have been awoken in her.
Sure. Yeah. Oh, yeah. It's so good.
Yeah.
And okay, so going back to where we were there,
she's coming out of the sitcom.
Witch, Scarlet Witch. I'm all about it tonight.
Yeah.
Which goes back to your original prediction of this. She's more than likely at least one of the quote-unquote big bads in this.
Right.
Because her coming out of the sitcom and them talking about her stealing his body from Sword and everything, this is proving more and more that she's not innocent in this. She knew what was going on. She's done this because of her grief. She's wrestling with her, trauma that she's trying to walk through, and it's coming out in these nasty ways. But man, when she steps out, it is terrifying.
What I will have now, though,
I'm
going to add just a minor caveat to my theory.
All right, let me hear it. Okay, let's hear it.
So, I don't think she created this. And
okay, so you think she didn't create the whole bubble.
I think she's now controlling a lot of things that are going on with it.
Okay.
But I don't know. She says this in her interaction with Vision.
Yeah.
When he goes, I don't know anything. I don't have any memories.
Right, prior
to being
Westview.
here.
Yeah.
Prior to Westview. He has no memories.
Yeah.
Okay? And she alludes to the fact that she may have memories, but she doesn't know how this started. She says, I don't know how this started.
Right, and he says he doesn't trust her, but who do you think did it?
I think Mephisto.
You think it's Mephisto?
I do think this may have started because of Mephisto creating some sort of manipulative scenario, some sort of situation.
Maybe to evaluate her.
Maybe to evaluate her. Maybe to be able to get at the twins.
Get the twins,
Maybe to appease her in some way. You know, I don't know.
Or as part of a deal.
As a part of a deal.
Maybe maybe he helped bring Vision back.
Right.
Here we go. All right, this feeds into
Hit me with
Agnes being terrified at the thought that she could bring back life.
Right.
Right? Because when she said,
you can do that.
The kid said, "Oh, you can do that," and she's like, "Wait, you can?"
Yeah.
So here's what I'm thinking now. Okay, this is going to fall into what you were just saying. I'm just thinking this now. She made a deal. Mephisto's always about deals, always about signing contracts.
Right.
There's hundreds of Marvel comics and Marvel comic covers where they're like signing deals to Mephisto because he's the devil, kind of a deal. So she made a deal with him. He brings Vision back, and her end of the deal was he encapsulates her in this mock reality to create the twins for his purposes.
Maybe.
So she gets Vision back, he gets the twins.
And she's in control of everything within it, though.
Right.
She controls everything going on inside.
Except the twins.
The twins
can age on their own. They can do what they want on their own.
And Agatha says that.
Right. You can't control children.
You can't control children.
Yeah.
And I'm calling her Agatha, but
or Agnes, whatever.
Or Agnes,
she's Agatha.
Yeah, but we're at this point. I'm just outright Agatha.
But I bet you the twins are his. Like Mephisto that's his claim. He gets the twins. She gets Vision back. But it makes sense that Vision doesn't have memories because the Mind Stone's gone. So
exactly.
He's like a false, a cheap replica of what he was because the stone's not there.
And because he says,
yeah,
you can't control me like everyone else.
Right.
And she goes, can't I?
Yeah. Right.
Yes, she can.
Yes, she can.
Yes, she can. Maybe he breaks free a lot easier.
Well, and I think she
may be able to break out. She probably doesn't
cares
control
about
him
him
to the same
yeah,
level.
She cares about him too much.
She can.
Yeah.
If she wants to,
she
will.
Him down. She
will shut him down. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, okay. Real quick, going back to when she came out of the
comes
bubble.
out.
Going back
oh
to
my gosh, we're getting to it. Yeah.
So I hadn't noticed this, but I read about it afterwards. Somebody, a bunch of sites made like reference to this, but she's very Magneto when she comes out.
Oh yeah.
So there's multiple scenes in the Fox movies with Magneto, with Ian McKellen and Michael Fassbender, where they grab guns of their enemies and they turn them on them.
Yep.
And so she comes out and she trains all the guns around the director, right on her threat. And it was just very very Magneto. And there's in the
not
comics
even
too,
just that.
Everything.
Her suit look
she's got the red.
We know
the
red suit.
It's always
we know her suit. But
man,
it looked a lot more like a darker Magneto suit.
Yeah.
His red.
Yeah, the deep red, the crimson red.
Crimson red suit.
Yeah, man.
And here's the thing that goes along with that.
Yeah.
There's been a lot of word coming out, and I don't remember who it was that said it, but that there is somebody in the cast, and I think it might have been Paul Bettany.
Okay, yeah.
It's either Paul Bettany or Elizabeth Olsen said that there is going to be a reveal on the level of Luke Skywalker.
Yes, I saw that
in
too.
the last Mandalorian
I think it was
episode.
Paul Bettany. Yeah,
and I think Magneto's coming.
Magneto.
I think Magneto's coming.
Which
in
one?
Here.
That's
the
Ian
question.
McKellen or Michael Fassbender?
That is the question.
You know what? I love Ian McKellen, and I would love to see him in that.
Right.
But Michael Fassbender's so good, and
I know.
feel like
they're both great. Well, and the thing about that is
they didn't do him justice.
No,
in
they
the last,
did not.
especially
No,
in the
they
last
did
X-Men movies. But he can be such a good.
Here's
Magneto.
the thing, though. But because of the reveal at the end of this episode, I think it's
Michael
Fassbender.
I think so too.
I think it's Fassbender.
I think so too.
How amazing would it be to see Fassbender here?
Oh, because he's got such great acting chops.
Right.
To throw him into an MCU movie where they actually write him to the quality of his character.
Oh my gosh.
Oh my word, it would be
It would
so
be
good.
great.
It would be. It would just. I would be so happy.
Yeah. So I think he's coming in at the end.
Yeah. Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can see that.
But so she comes out.
Right.
She's embodying Scarlet Witch at this point.
Oh
Essentially.
yeah. 100%.
Trains those guns, turns them on the director.
Yeah.
Which the
Mind
director is
controls all
not
of
a. He's
I
not
love
the
him,
guy
though.
that we
I think he's great.
initially think he is.
Yeah.
He's a darker guy.
I think he's a lot more like Nick Fury than we thought. Like I feel like he has fingers in every pie. He knows all the things that are happening, and he's cutthroat.
Maybe
they sent the drone in, and it was weaponized. And
there's
he
another
didn't
maybe
tell
in
them.
there.
What do you think? Let me hear it.
He could be Mephisto.
Yeah, so actually shout out, and if you're listening, you know who you are. One of my students came up to me at school, and we talk Marvel all the time.
Yeah.
And he said he thinks the director is Mephisto. And I was like, ooh.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, that's real good. And he told me that on like Thursday.
Because here's the other thing.
Yeah.
This could play into your idea as well.
Yeah.
he may have made that deal with her, and she may have broken it.
Yeah, she might be breaking it.
She might be breaking it, and now he's trying to get his claim on the kids, and which is why he tries to kill her.
Yeah, that's true. Oh, that's so good.
Which is awesome.
Yeah. Yeah, that would be good. And he's super sinister.
Yeah.
I love
But
it.
I love
He's a great performance.
She just owns them all.
Oh, yeah.
And here's the thing. This is showing them even more the magnitude of her power. Okay?
Yeah. Oh,
so
yeah.
she has the entire force field up. She controls the entire force field.
And all those thousands of people in Westview.
All of the thousands of people.
Yeah.
She controls all of them.
Yeah.
And the broadcast.
Yeah.
Going out. And everything happening within the broadcast.
Yeah.
And has enough power to then step out and control everyone outside of it to train their guns on the director.
And just so you remember, all of those guys are trained sword agents.
Right.
So they've got legit mental training.
Exactly.
Like, they're not just some people in a town. She takes them all and trains it on their head of command. Like, that's
insane.
Oh, it's so good. All right.
But she's flexing muscle right now.
She is.
She's flexing hard.
Yeah, it's gonna be so good. So
she comes back in. We see everything happen with the dog, which we've already talked about to an extent.
And then Vision confronts her, right?
Yeah.
And he's like, this isn't right. Something's wrong. I know something's wrong. And they have a shouting match, which is so great because it's like, this is a couple having a shouting match, but they're
on
superpowered.
a TV show. Yeah, and
I love it.
But I think the better part is that she tries to end it. And
the credits start rolling.
Credits.
Yeah,
she rolls the credits on him like it's over.
It's so good.
She's like, I'm done with this. Rolls the credits.
Yeah, and then he's talking over it.
And
the theme song starts and everything.
Yep,
and
he's just going straight through it. Yeah.
Oh, it's so good. Yeah, and then and she tries to get. He can't trust her anymore because of his interaction with Norm, which was also, dude, that was super terrifying when he wakes Norm up in the office.
Oh my gosh, yeah.
And he's like, my dad's gonna die because I'm supposed to be taking care of him. I don't know how to call him. How do I call him? And he's like, oh my word, these aren't players.
Just
like, these people have families.
Yes.
And they're trying, and the people are at risk. Like, this is unreal. It was just terrifying. And then he switches him back, and it's like, oh, and they get that sword email.
Yeah, the sword email,
which was really interesting. Trying to contact them.
I don't think he was trying to contact. I don't think he was trying to contact them. I think it was just an email that came in from the outside.
They intercepted.
They intercepted it in some way because it wasn't directed to them.
Yeah, I don't think so. I can't remember what it says now, but
unless it was directed to somebody inside.
Right, which we do think that
there's a mole somewhere in here.
Well, it's a Jimmy Woo mole.
Jimmy Woo agent.
So that might not, but Jimmy Woo's not sword. So it might, but maybe that mole is sword.
It could be.
And Jimmy Woo just doesn't know it.
But my point being, like, there's still somebody in here.
Yeah.
Somebody in here that Woo's got back.
Yeah, that he wants to. Yeah, for sure. Yeah. All right, so they have the fight, and then a knock at the door. Man, I think in my opinion though, Darcy's line.
Are we on payroll? Are we on payroll for Marvel at this point, man?
We better be.
This is getting close here.
We have a Patreon, Marvel. You should join. You should just throw in. It's okay. You can just give us $100.
If some money just starts showing up,
$100 a month is fine.
Sure.
I'll take that. So the door opens and it's Evan Peters, Quicksilver, from X-Men. Which
it's insane.
I gotta say,
I am so happy now in this moment.
I usually like MCU casting better, but Evan Peters is my Quicksilver.
Oh, yeah, he's great.
The best.
He's
the only redeeming factor of the later X-Men movies from Fox.
Yes.
Because he's the best. Oh, yeah. And he shows up. And Darcy.
And he knows Magneto is his father.
Well, yeah, Evan Peters does.
Evan Peters'
character in the Fox movies does. So does this Quicksilver know that?
I believe so. Honestly, this is their foot into mutants.
Bringing mutants in.
This is their foot into the X-Men, and I am so excited about it.
And we've been calling it. We've been
saying we wanted mutants.
Mutants are coming in.
This was going to be the crossover.
This is going to be the chance to bring them in here, and now we have Quicksilver, and they even solidify it with Darcy's line saying, "Oh, they recast Pietro."
Exactly.
Like, I love that.
That was a quick little.
That is so good. Such a great fourth wall breaking.
Yep.
It's like Fox, this is now Fox is under the MCU umbrella, and we now have this Quicksilver. Oh, it's so good.
And
it's so good. Yeah.
For all of our listeners, Legion
Yeah.
This rolls perfectly. If you listen to our announcement on Facebook Live last week,
that's right.
This rolls perfectly into our kickoff of Mutant Mayhem podcast, which will be starting next week, Wednesday's episode, our first of our Mutant Mayhem correction podcast. I couldn't believe how perfectly this all aligned.
Yeah, let me just say that we decided on this
Well before. We had talked about this maybe what are we doing after Star Wars correction?
2.5 weeks ago or so.
Yeah.
And then last week, we finalized that, yes, we were going to come up with this. Logan came up with another one of his great names. Mutant Mayhem is set, and we started planning this like a week before, or solidified it a week before this episode came out.
And our hope was
that we could tie it right into WandaVision.
Well, at some point, they're going to tie it into WandaVision, and it's going to be a perfect tie-in. Lo and behold, they did it this week.
And here they come.
Yeah.
Again, they bugged our studio.
Exactly. It's here, man.
It's here. It's somewhere in the walls.
They're waiting for us to tell them what to do next, and that's what they're going to do for the next episode.
So this is like,
that's why
they're our WandaVision.
Yeah, but we've
controlled it.
Exactly.
We're actually just dictating.
Wow. But that's why they are not releasing it all at one time. They have to listen to our podcast before they can actually figure out. And
they have a week to shoot.
They got a week to shoot, turn it around, and get it all edited and out.
Man, they're good.
Yeah, they're real quick.
They're real good.
It's not even a week because this comes out on Mondays.
That's right. So they got 4 days to get it out and in our hands. Oh, well, thank you, Marvel. Keep listening.
I'm excited because I do believe that there's some people out there who are saying that Pietro is Mephisto. I completely do not agree with that.
Maybe controlled by Mephisto.
Mephisto.
Or maybe just brought into this universe by Mephisto.
Agreed. Manipulated in some way.
It's either Mephisto or Agatha, whatever her name is. It's one of them.
Well, she's both.
It's the same thing.
It's the same. Yeah,
she's a witch.
She's a witch.
It's the same. How do you know? She looks like one. It's one of them. It's either Mephisto or Agnes that's brought Pietro here.
Exactly.
Oh,
exactly.
Man,
so
good.
I'm really excited for the next episode.
Yeah.
They're going to delve, obviously, into that relationship.
Yeah,
they're going to delve into the recasting. But I do believe it's going to set us up for more with mutants, more leaning towards then.
And hopefully Magneto.
Hopefully Magneto.
Oh, man. All right, guys. Well, we can't wait to see the next episode, and we can't wait to talk about it with you guys.
Thanks for listening to the Legion of Comic Correction. Don't forget to check out our other episodes streaming everywhere you listen to podcasts. We're also on the major social platforms like Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. Just search Legion of Comic Correction.
That's right. And make sure to check out our Patreon for exclusive supporter specials at patreon.com/legionofcc. New episodes come out every Monday.
And Wednesdays.
No, just Mondays.
And Wednesdays?
I don't think we can do Wednesdays.
We can do Wednesdays.
All right, Mondays and Wednesdays. We'll see you guys next week. Same time, same place, same Legion.